Hi guys, it's Dominika. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about dating, more specifically how to make our dating lives better. Let's talk how to actually have fun dating and how to enjoy dating when you're being single. Because honestly, I watch so many videos on YouTube, on TikTok with snippets from psychologists or this motivational self-improvement women channels, and I enjoy the videos so much. But they are all married or in serious relationship and give advice on how they got there, which I think is still very cool, and I watch a lot of those videos. But I am not there. I'm freaking single and I am, out there in the trenches. It's freaking wild these days, how some guys and some people, generally speaking, are in the dating world. So just so you know, this is where I am. I'm not in a relationship. I think I would like to be in a nice, healthy, happy relationship, but I'm not in one right now, and I'm dating, and I've discovered that I have some attachment issues, which probably was not probably, that was the reason why a lot of my relationships in the past weren't the best. So now that I'm trying to date from the healthier, more happy place, I realized there are certain things that I'm trying to implement to make sure that I don't do the same shit show that I did in the past. So I wrote down 9 things that I thought of. Let me know what you think about this video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on other social media platforms. Here we are, you're starting dating again, you're dating and you don't want to do the same things you did in the past. The first thing that I recommend you to do is to write down what you don't want. I know there's a lot of people recommending to doing things the other way around, to write down what you want. I personally really struggle finding out what I want. I didn't really experience very healthy, happy relationships growing up, so it's not that I can look up to my parents and be that's what I want, because that's for sure not what I want. And same when I look at a lot of my friends, they have like issues in their relationships, and I think it's very hard for me to write down realistically what I want, because of course I want to be in a happy relationship with someone that's amazing, the man that's handsome and nice and kind and funny and all of that, but it's really hard for me to figure out specifically what I want, so it's much easier for me to figure out what I don't want. And in order to do that, I would look into relationships into my past. When you think about people from your past, there are some people that like automatically make your heart go a little bit faster even now. Those more, I guess, up and down relationship, the one that got away, the guy, who wasn't quite ready to be in a relationship or whatever it was. Because I had some relationships which I think were much healthier and they've ended. But when I look at the whole relationship, I don't really think it was a lot of turbulence and traumatic stuff happening. But I can look into those unhealthy relationships and they had a lot in common. There was a really big pattern in those bad relationships for myself. I just sat down and like listed those guys that I think were really making me go crazy, and the stuff that I didn't like about that relationships, stuff that I didn't like, that the guy felt he can come to my place at midnight just to hook up with me after his night out with the guys. The fact that he would not reply to my message for 3 days and then suddenly when it was convenient for him to reply. The fact that I felt very insecure about myself during those relationships, right? Because like they were like constantly coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. I kind of just wrote down all of those feelings, all of that emotion, all of that negativity. Just write down all of that. And I know it can be really painful. It's really hard to admit to yourself how you allowed people in the past to treat you, but that's in the past, okay? And this is all about the future. So I know it's hard, but just write down all the negative aspects of all of that. Make sure that you don't want, because I think that's gonna be a very good guiding point to you throughout your dating life, because when you will see a slight glimpse of that, right? Not when the guy goes full on crazy and you go full on crazy and you're crying every single day for a month. Let's do it before then, okay? Like when you see slight glimpses of that he was supposed to text you, then he didn't, and he was gone for a week, something is iffy, write down to yourself like all of that negative stuff, all of that, and hold on to this when you're dating. And I think at this point it's also important to write down your triggers, so look at yourself, the negative stuff that they were doing, which ones you are reacting really badly, because you also deserve your inner peace, you deserve to be happy, you don't deserve to be all over the place emotionally. So write down the stuff that they were doing that really made you like go crazy. So you can avoid that in the future as well. That was my first advice for pre-dating time. Now you're dating, and stop dating the potential. The relationship that you have with this guy is the relationship that you have right now, not some future fantasy of yours that most likely is never gonna happen. And I know it's very hard, and especially for us people with some childhood traumas, when sort of as children we had to live in this fantasy world to believe things are gonna be better someday. But now we're adults. You're finding person to build your life with, that you're supposed to be happy with and spend so much time with. People that you're around, actually it's crazy how much they rub off on you. It's not just romantic relationships, also friendships and your family. If you're surrounded by positivity and people that like you, want to be with you, it builds you up. If you're with someone that doesn't like you that much, you're also not gonna like yourself that much. So you have to really look at this guy exactly how he is. I know that because, I don't know, he made you one dinner, you're thinking, oh, when we have a family, he's gonna cook every day, he's gonna be like this with the children, I will introduce him to my friends, he will be like that, to my family like that. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. What you have with him right now, it's what you have with him. That's it. And I think that's also the reason why it's so hard to let go of the guys, right? Because we had 2 good dates with this man. We've spent in total 5 hours with him. But when we let go of him, we don't let go of this guy we spent 5 hours with. We let go of the entire future we planned with him. We were supposed to introduce him to our parents. He was supposed to be the father of our children. And now we have to let all of that go, and that's why it makes it so hard. Because babe, you're not getting divorced. It's just the man you've been on 2 dates with. So don't do it to yourself. Just like stop yourself from projecting future onto this man. You don't know him. I like to think a little bit of it as sampling, you know, you're getting a sample of the guy, like the full product, or like piece of the puzzle, right? Like this guy is like 1,000 puzzle piece. You've been on 1 date with him, spent 2 hours, he was very nice, you get this one puzzle, and then you look at this one puzzle and you make the entire picture around it. But that's not what it is, okay? If someone gave you one piece of puzzle, you wouldn't make what the whole thing is going to be like. And it's the same with the any new person that you meet. It doesn't have to be a guy. Any new person that you meet is just one piece, and allow yourself to meet that person again, get a second one, again, get the third one. See how he is with your friends, see how he is when he's upset, when something goes wrong, and build that puzzle of what it actually is. Let him give you the pieces of the puzzles about him. You cannot make things up in your head, okay? We can all create our perfect man in your head. I can look at this guy on the street walking there and imagine exactly how he's going to be my perfect man. But most likely that guy is not it. Allow the people to show you who they are, and that's going to make things easier for you to end when you realize that you have to end it. The next thing, the behaviors of others is the reflection of them, not the reflection of you. Because I've done that really a lot when I was dating, that after 2 days, the guy is losing interest, pulling away, stops initiating a meeting, and I would go crazy. What did I say? What did I do? Wasn't I funny enough? Is it because I don't know, I slept with him and like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have been doing that. Basically all of that man's action in my head are like a reflection of me. Because if I was prettier, if I was funnier, if maybe I was better with his friends, then he would want to be with me. But no, the way how people behave and how people treat you is how they want to behave and want to treat you. It's not about you, most likely. I mean, if you did something really crazy on a date, then maybe it's you, but 99% of the time it's not you, it's him. If they yell at you, if they go make out with another girl in front of you, all the stuff they're doing, it's a reflection of them. Because for me, if I'm seeing someone, I'm not gonna go make out with another guy in front of him, right? Because I don't treat people that way. I'm not gonna be making out with someone in front of the guy I'm dating. Like, that's not what I would do. So when someone else does that, that's their character. That's the proof of their character and who they are. And they're giving it to you. They're not that good of the person. And not that caring and not nice to be around. And if they are not caring towards you now, they're not gonna be caring towards you in 5 years, or if you have children and all of that. If they behave badly, if they treat you badly, it's their freaking fault that they treat you badly, okay? Because think about yourself. Think about the guy that really mistreated you, right? Maybe the guy that cheated on you, hit you, hopefully no one hit you, but if someone hit you, you know, all of that stuff. Do you do that to other people? Do you cheat on people? No. So why is the guy cheating on you a reflection on you? No, he's the one that cheated. It's his character that is immoral for doing that. So don't blame yourself for actions of others, it's the reflection of them. And I think when you're getting yourself to that point, your life just becomes easier because you're not constantly in your head, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? What could I have done better? What did I do wrong? You're just like, well, okay, like that guy is clearly not someone I'm supposed to be with if he does that. On to the next one. And that also comes down to the fact that it's not your job to make him like you. I know we've been watching so many romantic movies growing up where there was a hot guy and you're all wondering, how do we make that guy fall in love? And that was the plot of the movie. How this basic girl is gonna make this hot football player, whatever guy, fall in love with him. And I also feel like there's a lot of articles like how to make the guy fall in love with you. And growing up, I had this very naive mindset of there's a set of rules, and if I follow those rules, any man will fall in love with me. So if I'm a little bit distant on the beginning, I don't reply right away to his messages. I leave him on read for a few hours. I don't sleep with him until like 5th day. That's the recipe. That's 100% bulletproof list that the guy is gonna fall in love with me. And as an adult, you're like, this is not how freaking life works. It's not your job to make some sort of tricks basically tricks to make the guy that doesn't want to be with you want to be with you. Who are we? Like, why are we like pursuing men? It's so crazy when you think about it. But you know, I've had this feeling of I can make any guy fall in love with me. If he doesn't fall in love with me, it's my fault. Rather than being like, I'm just happy here, living my life. I want a man that's gonna make my life better and make me happier, and that's it. What am I proving to people, you know? Like, why do I have to prove that I can get a guy who doesn't want me? You know, and that comes really down to your like childhood traumas, right? That the man who doesn't want to be with you kind of reminds you of your distant parent. So you really try to make him want to be with you and really make him stay. I also talk about it with my therapist. And she told me that it's normal for us to find patterns in our childhood and then recreate them in adulthood, hoping for different effects. So if your parent was distant and didn't give you much time and stuff, you find a person that has the same characteristics and you're hoping that you can make things better because it's gonna heal you, but it won't. That's not how it works. The faster you learn that, then it's not your job to make someone like you. If they don't like you, they're not the one for you, and you will find another one, because there's always another one. You'd rather go straight to that guy than waste your time with this one. And then the next point, new people in your life are just new people in your life, and that's all that they are, okay? Think about it as when you meet a new friend, new girl. You go to the party, you meet a girl, you like her, you're like, okay, she seems nice, she seems like someone I'll have things in common with. But do you think to yourself like, okay, this girl I talked with for 1 hour, she's gonna be my best friend forever. We're going to go on 2-month trip to Asia this year. We're going to be seeing each other like 3 times every week. We're going to be so close. She asks you like, oh, do you wanna hang out like in 2 weeks? And you're like, oh my gosh, how could she? She's supposed to be my best friend forever. And she wants to wait 2 weeks to see me. Like, what is that? You know how that sounds, right? So why do we do it with guys? Why we go on 1 date with a guy, have good time for 2 hours, and then we imagine all this stuff from him, all this crazy future with, and then he never lives up to expectations because expectations are so crazy over the roof, right? Because this guy you're talking for 2 hours, he's supposed to be your new boyfriend, he's supposed to be the father of your children, he's supposed to be the lover of your life, and then wait for it, he doesn't live up to this expectation because you don't know him at all. He's just a new person in your life that you know 0.5% of who they are, but you already see him as your boyfriend. He's not your boyfriend, okay? He's not your man. But you already see him as that. Rather than seeing him, this is like a new person in my life. Another person. No savior. No white on a night horse. Just a new person. And I got a sample of him. I had a nice time with him. Let's see how it goes. Let's see 5 days in, 10 days in, if they're still there, okay? If he loses interest somewhere along the way, he was not the guy. If he doesn't and you continue seeing each other, you like him, he likes you, then it will develop into more. When you meet someone on the first date, second date, they're just new people in your life and you have to give it time. And for me, it helps to date few people at one time. I don't think you necessarily have to do that. I think it's more for us people that get really attached really fast. And I don't mean by that you have to like have 3 dates in 1 day and like go crazy for everyone. But I think it's nice for me that, you know, if I go on 1 date with someone, I like the guy, not to have this mindset of, okay, that's my man now. That is this guy or nothing. Him or no one else. So I still stay on Tinder, I still like swipe, and if I click with someone, then I would go on a date with that person. Just sort of don't lock yourself away from other opportunities and possibilities because of a guy you went on a date with. Most likely he's doing the same. Okay, 99% chance he's doing the same. And he has the right also to do that. That's the thing. But you're not his girlfriend. He's not your boyfriend. You've just been together for 2 hours. In the past, I would be a little bit more over dramatic, over emotional, because I've been on this guy on 2 dates, and like, what if he's seeing other people? He's at this party, right? I know he's at this party. What if he makes out with another girl over there? And I would get really like in my head about this. But again, when you take a distance, you know, from things, you realize we're all trying to find our person over here, and he got one puzzle from you on one date, you got one puzzle of him, and you may be getting puzzles from other people, but over time you will see which puzzle just builds up, which one makes it, and you just have to distance yourself emotionally a little bit from the process. And again, your self-worth is not tied to this man, your validation is not tied to this man, because the moment that it is, after one date, then everything goes to shambles very fast. You just have to give things time. And the next thing is celebrate your friendships. I know that we place so much value for some unknown reason in our society on romantic relationships, but all of the relationships in your life are valuable. Your connection with your family is very valuable. Your connection with your friends is so valuable, because I know it's so easy to look at things. I have a great family, I have great friends, my career is great, things are going great, but because I don't have a boyfriend, that means my life sucks. And I think you need to channel a lot of your needs to be met through friendships. I don't have to have a boyfriend to go to a new restaurant I want to check out. I don't have to have a boyfriend to get a hug from someone. I don't have to have a boyfriend to spend quality time with someone. The moment that you open up to your friendships, the moment that you let them pour into your needs and make you happy, then you'll become less desperate basically for men, right? Because if you're sitting home alone all the time and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have a boyfriend, and then there's this one guy on horizon, you will put everything on him. You will put everything on this one guy, that he's now your happiness, he's your make it or break it. And that's just not good. That leaves you being very desperate for this one guy who's just probably not gonna be worth it, and you become so like dependent on him, and it's just not good. It's much better when you have your friendships and your other relationships going on, so when you meet a man, you will only have him in your life if he brings additional things to it. If you're like so lonely and so desperate, then a guy texting you at 11 p.m. if he wants to come to like hook up is gonna seem like a lot. But when you have a lot of your friendship, your girlfriends that you meet up with, and you talk about different things with, you celebrate your birthdays, and not only birthdays but just milestone in your lives, right? If anything big happens, you have that person to connect with, to celebrate with, to spend your time with. Then if there is some like crusty guy coming over like, hey, I can like screw you at 11 p.m. when I'm done with the boys, then you're just like, dude, like, no thank you. So you really have to shift your mindset and like take from your friendships as much as you can, because then you're not gonna go for the wrong guy who gives you 10%. You'll go for someone who will give you 100%. The next point is that you have to celebrate your me time, because when you look at the things with the glasses of, oh my gosh, it's Tuesday night and I'm home alone, I don't have a boyfriend, you have to get yourself into things. I started volunteering like 2 weeks ago in a cafe, and I really like it so far, and there's a lot of people, and I think it's nice for me to have some place to go to every week. I contribute to this greater thing. I'm here with other people. I enjoy my time. I go to the gym, I go to hot yoga, just for myself to have this is the celebration of me. And then even if I start dating someone, Thursday evenings I'm go to hot yoga. Okay, that doesn't change. Men can come and go, whatever happens. I have my hot yoga on Thursdays. I also started reading books again. I used to read really a lot as a teenager, and then I sort of shifted away from it. So now before bed I try to, for like 1 hour, just read a book, because I tend to watch a lot of Netflix. So for 1 hour I try to read a book, because I think they fit into your soul more. So try to make those little things happen for you to actually enjoy time without other people, without anyone else. And then even if you're dating someone, you still keep those things, you still keep those core values of who you are that gets you through boyfriends, friendships, grief, whatever happens in your life. You have those things holding you tight. And then the last thing that I want to say, it's okay if you screw up, because I know I'm saying all of that, and I'm really trying to to get there, but it's a process. We imagine, right, the growth and the healing to be like that, but it's honestly like that, a little bit bump, like that, a little bit bump. So whenever you hit this bump down there, don't beat yourself up, because you've been trained your whole life. If you have anxious attachment, avoidant attachment, or in my case, both, you were taught your whole life, your whole childhood, teenagers, for so many years, what love is and what love feels like. And now as an adult, right, you're trying, you realize that this is screwing with you, so you're trying to change, but it's been so many years that you had this one mindset, okay, that made you. But you cannot just overnight change everything. And you're watching this video, you're watching other videos, you're trying to make things better for yourself, but it doesn't happen overnight, okay? And you will meet this guy and you will like do everything right, but then, I don't know, you will have a worse day, your anxiety will be worse, and then this motherfucker is going to cancel the date on you and you're just gonna fall apart. I had this situation 2 months ago. I was in a dating from a better place, I was more calm with the guys. If something wasn't working out, I was just like, you know, letting them go. But then I met this one guy that I was really into. He was very handsome, very charismatic, very fun. I really liked him. We went on 2 good dates that I really enjoyed, and then he cancelled the 3rd date. And he told me that he cancels because he knows I'm looking for something more serious. And he's actually having a girl, a female friend, coming over to visit him, and probably something's gonna happen between them. So he feels like he should cancel the date with me. And I spent basically that day in bed crying really a lot. And I didn't tell anyone because I know how freaking pathetic it seems, okay? Like the guy cancelled 3rd date with you and you're crying. But it wasn't about the guy. It's never about the guy. If you have attachment issues, it's not about that person. It's about all of negative feelings you have inside of you and you're trying to like heal from it. But then if someone behaves this way, it goes all flaring up. So when that happened, it wasn't about the guy. It's just like I was doing so well for months, really holding myself up. Now this guy comes over and everything comes flooding up, right? Like, why am I unlovable? What did I do wrong? Who is that other girl, right? What does she has that I don't have? But it was a bad day, honestly. It was a bad day. I cried really a lot. When I woke up the next day, I was feeling, you know, it was already okay. But for that one day, I felt really bad and I didn't tell anyone about it, because how would I tell my friends that I spent the day crying in bed because the guy cancelled 3rd date on me? But you cannot beat yourself up when you become too involved, too attached, or you do something wrong, or you send this one text. You know you shouldn't be sending that one text, right? But you did. And now you're like, oh my gosh, you're feeling so much shame and so much guilt for yourself. Honestly, it's okay. The growth is not like this. There will be some moments like that. It's more, you have to recover from it. Okay, you spent time crying over that guy. You wake up the next day, you start from the beginning. That's kind of how you have to like roll through things. Don't get yourself sit in this hole of like, oh my gosh, I spent a day crying of this guy, so I'll spend another month, you know, feeling bad right now, and like I'm not gonna see anyone. You have to jump out of that, you know, snap out of this as quickly as you can. But it's okay that you screwed up. That, you know, it's like we're humans and we know we're trying to get better, but there will be hiccups along the way. You just have to think about the bigger picture and think about, you know, what's the whole goal of that? The whole goal of that is to meet someone that you'll be happy with. So today you weren't happy because this guy who clearly was not for you made you unhappy. But wake up next day like, okay, he's not the one, I'm looking for next one because I'm looking for a guy I want to be happy with. And now the actual last thing, which is very, very important in this whole dating experience, is that you're supposed to have fun, which I feel like we forget sometimes because we're so focused on finding the boyfriend, finding the guy. Do we forget we're actually supposed to have fun during this process? And you went on a date with someone and okay, it didn't work out, he wasn't the one. You still had a nice date. I went on a date, I think, last date I went on actually like 2 weeks ago with this guy that from the moment when I saw him I kind of knew I don't think it's gonna be anything out of it, but I stayed for a date, tried to be open-minded, but I could tell just we're not compatible. But he was nice to me, we played mini golf, it was a nice time. It's not wasted, there's no regrets, no failure, like okay, I had a nice day, the guy is not it, let's move on to the next one. And there was another guy that I went on a date with, we had some drinks, really nice time, he kissed me at the train station, it was very fun and cute date. And then that's the guy that told me to cancel the third date. And you know, in that moment when I was like in bed crying, feeling all bad, I was just like, oh, it's all wasted, like I regret meeting him, I regret going on a date with him. But now that, you know, some time went by, I'm like, I had a really good date with this guy. You know, he showed me a new neighborhood in Copenhagen I haven't been to yet, new bar I haven't been to yet. It was a cute moment at the station that we had, and okay, it didn't work out, but I have a good memory. And I think that's also really important, this whole dating experience, that just because you didn't like the guy, didn't work out, whatever, doesn't mean the time was wasted, because all of that brings you closer to your right person. All of those experiences, all those failed experiences, they're lessons, and they bring you closer to the first point in this, what you don't want, what you want. When you have those experiences, you learn what you don't want, and it all brings you closer to your person. So have fun with dating, enjoy those fun days that you have, even if it doesn't work out, the guy is not the one. So what? And I think with that accent I want to finish this video. I don't know if it was helpful or not, but I just sort of feel like those are like the things I think about when I try to date. And thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think. Also let me know if there are some like topics maybe you want me to think about. And thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye!